Have you watched that video on the content of my breakfast yesterday, which I shared a few hours ago? You need to go and watch it, because some of you want to watch it. Why? Because the content of that food is what a lot of us have already blackmailed and tagged as bad for you and unhealthy. One of them is coffee. The number 2 is milk. And a lot of you, they don't want to hear it. But I combined it in little amount and enjoyed it yesterday morning and shared it with us. Because I tell my subscribers and my followers the truth. I will not be telling you something else and go behind and be doing something else. This is the life I live. And so the content of that breakfast yesterday is what I want to share with us. I want to throw a little more light in case you are also having confusion on what to combine. You do not necessarily have to combine those things that I did, but when you think you need something, you should always listen to your body. That's the essence. I've believed and been living on it. Your body should always speak to you. Those foods, they have nutrients, they have benefits that your body sometimes are yearning for. But because we have been, indoctrinated, I'll put it, that these foods are bad, altogether bad. Number 1 of such food is coffee. I was in that class before, but I've left that class. The class of people don't want to hear it. Coffee contains good and bad, it has good and bad sides. And I want to highlight some of the bad sides. And the main bad side is that caffeine. And the caffeine comes naturally. And the caffeine in it is also something that your body needs occasionally, especially as seniors. Now, some of you are also going for things like decaf. Now, when a nutrient has been added by Mother Nature, why go and take it out? I don't go for decaf. There are other varying versions of coffee, which a lot of people are going for. I do not subscribe or go for such. When you want to take something, take it. If you want to take coffee, don't go for 3 in 1. Go for real bitter coffee, like that I did. In that little quantity, I showed us the sachet, about 1.5 grams or so of the coffee. And sometimes I take it, the whole of it. Sometimes I just take half of it, just to get the benefits in it, without getting all those ugly sides. Then, number 2 thing, apart from the fact that your body needs that caffeine occasionally, not in large amount, not as a habit. Now, if you are feeling sluggish, you may need it. That caffeine can drain out. The ugly side of that caffeine is that it can drain out your magnesium. Yes, we say it does. It can drain out. If you are someone that is already deficient in the mineral magnesium, which is great for your heart, for your muscles, for your nerves, you may not, make coffee your friend, but all of us are in it together. So we have that nerve issues, we have all those things I mentioned, but I still went for it. Why? I'll also tell you why the caffeine may also not be your friend. One of the reason is that it dries out water out of your cell. It's one of the fastest fat-burning foods naturally occurring. As a matter of fact, if you are gaining weight and you want to quickly trash it out, give it a kind of dislodge it quickly, coffee is a food of choice. It does it very fast, but not without the negative effect of drying out your cells. Your body will need extra loads of water to reduce the negative things like anxiety feelings, anxiety attacks, which comes with it. And so if you have taken anything that has to do with coffee, you should also be ready for loads of water. Now, another thing that the coffee does for you is that it can also increase the anxiety attack. And that is when you don't take enough water. And again, it also happens when you continue taking it as a habit, like you take it today, tomorrow you take it, next tomorrow you take it, because it can easily be addictive. Now, another thing that coffee does for you is that it can make your joint to be stiff. And so those that are at risk of stroke should also not make it a regular drink. It can make your joints, like your arms, stiff. Yes, it can do that because of all this drying out yourself, burning out the little fat that is left, and then it has small other effects. But the good side of it, the coffee, is that it unclogs your arteries. Nobody may have told you that. Most of the challenge of older people is clogged arteries. Clogged arteries is risky and dangerous. And coffee is one of the food that does it. And it can also give you energy. I mean, that energy that you need to work. It reduces depression. It boosts metabolism, in a very smooth and fast way. It does it. And helps you manage diabetes because it's quite bitter. Just forgetting that I had to add some other things. That is the side of it. Now, what about the milk? Yes, a lot of us don't want to hear about milk anymore. Yes, I agree with you that milk is not good for seniors. When you take it regularly, it's not a food of choice. Let's just put it that way. But once in a while also, I crave for it. It's rich in vitamins and minerals. And I do not have to empty a whole sachet like I told us in that video. You need to go watch it. A whole sachet of milk in it. And there is something about the choice of milk which you need to hear too. Now, before now, I was going for less than 1% fat. All the low fat stuff. But are you aware that now that we're avoiding all those foods, bread, biscuit, and a lot of foods that can even make you add a little flesh, I do not go for those low fat. They are more acidic. This is something I have experienced. The low fat, 0% fat, they are more acidic. But these acids builds up little by little secretly without you knowing it. Now, and they are further away from nature. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when you are talking of natural foods, foods that are closer to nature, you go for real full cream milk. As a matter of fact, if you can go for the tin milk, which is the original one that we are used to, it's quite expensive now. One tin milk of pig is almost 500 or 600 naira. In fact, I was shocked when I heard it the other day. That's how serious it is. But I tell you, that milk that is heavy, that milk in a tin that comes with full cream, is closer to nature than those low fat. It's one of the lies and deceptions that we have received over the years. So if you can put like a teaspoon, it helps to provide your body with some form of probiotics and even fat. But some of you think your body does not need fat at all. Not at all. Are you aware that such fat from milk, some form of fat, they are protective? Why do I say so? Because they come with a lot of vitamins and minerals. And that's why those who suffer stomach ulcers, they always find something like a kind of relief when they take it, because milk naturally is protective. When the cells are exposed to oxygen-derived free radicals, when they're exposed because of some harsh foods that you and I may be taking and overindulging in, when they're exposed and they need quick protection, my dear, the fastest food that does that is milk, because it provides you with protein. It provides you with some form of fat. It provides you with over 28 vitamins and minerals, which your body needs for some kind of balance. And so when we take out all these things, and it helps to pamper the thyroid. A lot of you are not aware that the thyroid does not like harshness. And so if you are someone that is already experiencing the thyroid, either it's underactive thyroid or overactive, it's already shooting out, and you are still taking, stressor foods like coffee, stressor foods like peppers, hot peppers, black peppers, some spices on a regular basis, and you do not provide some form of protection, which comes with eating foods like full cream. Not to take a whole thing, but just little. Because of our age, because of your age, once in a while, not daily. That's where we are getting it wrong. When you try to enjoy some of this food, the way you were enjoying it as a growing child, because they are tasty, they are sweet, you never wondered why the children of God were promised a land flowing with milk and honey. Oh, you never given it a thought. I have. Because it's a good food. Milk is a good food. Honey is a good food. Remember, I said in that video, if you find a good honey, unadulterated honey, to pair with that breakfast is a great addition. But today we have too many fakes. So that was why I made use of date rather, because date is more diabetic friendly. Date has a lot of minerals, potassium, magnesium, copper, iron, calcium, a lot of minerals that also will help to support the body. And so you do not have to, put some tag on some food. That was why I had that breakfast and did that voiceover for us to see, because that is not to say you should go do it and start taking it. It just goes to say that you should always listen to your body. Your body is the best one lab that can tell you what it needs at a particular time. And when you get it, you need to know why you took it, and then don't go for it the next day. Don't go for it days after, because of the ugly side effects which you're already acquainted with. That is the truth. And if we do this, our body will not be crying out for too long. Coffee and date, and sometimes I add a little cocoa. Yes, cocoa have some little fats. Yes, I do that. Then later on, go for the real food. What about the cinnamon? Remember that cinnamon was part of that. Cinnamon helps you with blood pressure. It helps to bring out the natural taste. Just a pinch of cinnamon powder. Yes, that is part of it. Sometimes you may decide to add other things like ginger, but cinnamon particularly helps to enhance the taste, support your blood pressure, support your blood sugar, and then you can have it occasionally. Relax. Nothing, and I repeat, nothing will happen if you take it once in a while, because these are naturally occurring nutrients, and sometimes your body is yearning and crying for them. And so you don't have to avoid this, avoid that, avoid that, avoid that, avoid that. And over time, you start experiencing very low levels of energy. Energy level become very low. Why? Because of these trace minerals that we are missing by avoiding all of these things. And more so that a good number of us do not have access to variety. Like in some developed countries, they have variety. So when you don't have variety of foods, brain supporting foods, ginkgo biloba, a lot of other foods that are here, you don't have access. So you must make do with what you have in moderation. Don't overdo it. That is our rule here. And don't forget, I remain your host, Gracious Grace. Food is our medicine here, and moderation remains our rule. Join this community, our community, for more wellness tips on how you can live and age graciously without depending your life or keeping your life on too much medications. Remember I told you, I'm not on any of those. That's why occasionally you see me, I take all these things. I'm not on any medication for this, for B complex. We need B complex. We need all of these things. I don't take multivitamin or iron tablets. But occasionally, I give myself a treat. You can also do that with whichever natural food you like. Mine cannot be yours. Yours cannot be mine. Choose that food that you love, that you've been avoiding because of the news, the messages, the posts, the videos you watched. As long as natural food, my dear, once in a while, you enjoy yourself. Your body may give you a signal when you need to go for it. Stop all those, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this. And before you know it, you're losing weight and looking like a skeleton, very skinny. Because I have had people who complain, pre-diabetics, and that they are losing so much weight, they are becoming too skinny. It's because of all this avoiding of all of that. No milk, no meat, they don't eat egg, they don't eat the starches, they don't eat potato. My dear, when I want to take milk, I go for full cream. Except that they are more expensive. And have you wondered why they are even more expensive? It's because they are richer, they are closer to nature. It's one of the ways you can find out. They are more expensive because they are more difficult to produce. There are other versions of milk, when you are talking of milk, that you can also rely on. If I find a good goat's milk, I'll go for it. Now, if you go to where the cows are being milked, there are raw milk there. I have had to encounter it some time ago. They were offering me, but because I was so used to it. You can take them without all this pasteurizing, chemical, preservative, adding vegetable oils, adding a lot of things. It's a protective food. I'm not advertising or promoting it, but the tag, the hate on it is too much. Sometimes it may be what you need. Can you believe there was a day I was going somewhere? I actually had, milk in my bag. I didn't know I would need it, honestly. But something happened within my body, which milk was the only food that I needed. And guess what? It came to the rescue. It did the job. And I gave God thanks that day because it was all I needed on that journey. Because the traffic was too much. I was almost, fainting. I was looking for something. So you don't have to make it look like it's poisonous. Especially with the, availability of too many chemicals being added and versions. If you get a good version, a better version of milk, go for it. It's a biblical food in moderation. Mark my words, and always remember that you don't have to make it a habit, because milk, cow milk, is not a food of choice for seniors. Once in a while you take it because it supports your brain. It helps you, give you a balance of vitamins and minerals in little amount. And the best time to take it is even in the after your water therapy, your lemon, all those stuff, in between. Because I always have some fruits, a little fruit, to open up the stomach after the water therapy. It's not as if you just start it with a milk containing food as a senior, because it helps to reduce stomach acid production. Thank you for watching. See you again.